What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Scottie O, aka the Gen Z Attorney, and I am a real-life prosecutor. I currently work as an assistant district attorney in the great state of North Carolina, meaning I am in court every day. I am prosecuting bad guys, and I'm putting people in jail. And I make videos here explaining some of the high-profile court cases of the day and giving my perspective as someone who can explain what it's like to be on the prosecutor side, to hopefully pull the curtain back a little bit and let y'all see behind the scenes on how a prosecutor might approach these types of situations. I'm also, fingers crossed, hoping to give Gen Z a little more positive representation in the media. Well, I promised I'd give y'all an update on the Scottie Scheffler case as soon as I had an update to give, and sure enough, less than 48 hours after I said that, we got the news today that all the charges against Mr. Scheffler have been dropped. Yeah, this is obviously great news because for anyone who watched my last video explaining this entire case would know I think it was a very dumb case. It was a misunderstanding, miscommunication to begin with. It was dark, it was rainy, it was chaotic, tense conditions, that it was unclear who was told to do what, body cam wasn't on. All these reasons counseled an outcome of just dismissal, basically. So the fact that the case had not been dismissed as of 2 days ago, and not only that, that the elected DA made a personal appearance in court where he made a fool of himself by objecting to a continuance motion and not even responding to what the defense attorney was asking, but instead responding to his entirely own argument.
I made the motion, they're objecting. He keeps referring to when appropriate, which is specifically referring to remote appearance. There's nothing about inappropriate regarding moving a court date. It happens every day. And so Mr. O'Connell says, well, we don't want to treat him differently. Then go through and look how many cases are agreed to by continuance by the county every day.
Yeah, this case was it was bizarre from the get-go, and it should have been dismissed a week ago. But, as they say, ask and you shall receive, because 2 days ago, before I make the video, the charges are still in place. 2 days later, after I make the video, boom, charges are dropped. So I'm not gonna say I had any influence or impact on that, but I guess I'll just say you never know.
Coincidence? I think not!
Maybe the elected DA in Kentucky, he saw the video. He saw all of your great comments down below and decided, wow, this guy makes some really good points. His 400 subscribers are just, I can't fight it. I can't argue with that. So I have no choice. I have to dismiss it. But in all seriousness, yeah, it's great news that this got dismissed. Happy to hear it, which especially because, I mean, the more I looked into this case since I even posted the video, I saw that this officer that made these charges has not the squeakiest clean record, you could say. He's been reprimanded several times in his career. Looks like back in 2010 and 2011, he received 4 reprimands, including a 1-day suspension for failing to show up to court. Now, I can say I've got some personal experience on this type of issue. As a prosecutor, I usually can't proceed on a case without the officer present, and particularly if there's a trial, because if I don't have an officer to testify at my trial, then I can't testify. I can only ask questions to the person that is testifying. So without an officer there, I can't try a case. And while some of my officers are absolutely great at showing up at their monthly court date, some of my other officers, I don't know what they look like because they've never been to court before. And sometimes I've even had to dismiss cases before where I have not had an officer present. I've attempted to reach out to the officer. I could either not reach them or they were unavailable on that day. I try and continue the case to a day where they are available. My motion to continue gets denied. At that point, I just have to dismiss the case because if I don't have anyone there to testify, like I said, I have no case. So yeah, I've definitely got experience in that specific type of conduct. I can say, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's annoying to deal with as a DA, but as far as how that reflects on them as an officer, it doesn't reflect too poorly. I mean, oftentimes they don't show up to court because they're out on patrol or they're doing something else. They need to be out on the street. They need to be doing their investigations. Or honestly, they just need to be working more serious cases than the ones that I'm dealing with. So while I can see why an officer may get a reprimand for that, that's not an end of the world type thing for an officer to be doing. It's just, yeah, like I said, it's annoying. But the more juicy detail of this officer's record was back in 2013 when he was suspended for 5 days for doing donuts in a business parking lot while a drunk person, a drunk civilian, was in his cop car with him. So I don't even know what goes through your mind to do something like this, to get in your marked patrol car with a drunk person. Doesn't even say whether or not the officer was drunk as well. But either way, get in your marked patrol car with a drunk person and start doing donuts and spinning out. Yeah, it's a very silly thing to do. I'll just say that. Which, once again though, also not the end of the world. I mean, yeah, needs to be reprimanded for that. Needs to know that's not good. Shouldn't do that. And all of these reprimands, they do show some potential poor judgment. Which, when we're talking about a case where you get reprimanded again because you don't have your body cam on. And so the entire strength of the case rests on your judgment as an officer and whether the charges are justified. To have any sort of history of bad judgment is gonna weigh against you in a situation like this. So yeah, seeing this about the officer's history, it only gave me more justification, more feeling that the case itself it's just a weak case. There's no reason to proceed on it. Should just dismiss it outright. Which does bring me to the one other thing I wanted to talk about, which is what even is the job of a prosecutor? Some prosecutors may feel like their job is to prosecute, which intuitively seems to make sense. I mean, it's in the name. We're prosecutors. Of course, our job is to prosecute crime. But to think like that would be to say that our job is to seek convictions. But in the oath that we take when we get sworn in as prosecutors, our oath is not to seek convictions. Our oath is to seek justice. And that's a different thing, because sometimes there is overlap. Sometimes justice means you seek the conviction. Other times, justice means you alter the charge. Maybe you reduce the charge. Maybe you dismiss the charge entirely. It's really going to depend on the situation at hand. To give you a personal example, I had a case about a month or two ago for a mother who was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a juvenile. Now, that's a mouthful, so I'm just going to say contrib from here on out. But basically, contrib is a step down from child abuse, where child abuse may be you're either directly abusing a child or you're leaving them neglected to the point where it rises to the level of abuse. That's the most serious misdemeanor child abuse that I deal with. One step down from that is this contrib charge, which may not be direct abuse, but may just be you're doing stuff you really shouldn't be doing when it comes to raising a child. And in this situation, this mother was called because her two kids had gotten into trouble with the police, and the police called her to come pick them up, and the mom basically said, nah, I'm good. I don't want to. Okay, on its face, that probably fulfills the elements to prove a contrib charge. But then I learned more about the case. I learned that these two kids are frequent flyers in the juvenile justice system. I learned that they don't listen to anyone or anything. They're constantly getting in trouble at school, constantly getting in trouble with the police. They don't listen to the police officers. They don't listen to the school officials. They don't listen to mom. And this mom very deeply cares about them and wants to help them, wants what's best for them. Maybe she didn't in this situation by refusing to go pick them up. Like I said, the elements are probably proven there. But overall, the juvenile officer that's assigned to this case came and corroborated mom's story, saying that mom has been one of the most involved parents that this officer had ever worked with. Since unfortunately a lot of parents of juvenile offenders are just very uninvolved. They don't care about what their kids are getting up to. But this mom really did care about her. I think it was her daughters, his two girls. And when I heard that, and I heard about the situation, I heard how just out of control these girls were, I had to stop and think to myself. I had to analyze the case and decide, what is justice here? Is justice to seek the conviction, to make mom a criminal? Would doing that change the situation at all? Would it help the situation at all? Would it help these girls get in line?
You serious?
So if that's the case, if getting a conviction on her is not going to change anything for the better, then what's the justice in that? And at that point, when I realized that, I made that conclusion, I dismissed the case. So that's what I mean when I say the job is to seek justice and not just seek convictions. From what it appears from the DA, the elected DA here, from his court appearance, it seemed like he felt like his job was to seek a conviction. We saw his comments saying that Mr. Scheffler needs to be treated like everybody else, when in reality, what he was doing was singling him out and treating him specially by objecting to what he was wanting to do. But yeah, that attitude of, oh, he needs to be treated like everybody else, that's true. Defendants should all be treated the same. Like I said in the last video, no one's above the law. But treating everyone the same doesn't mean seek convictions for everyone. Treating everyone the same means seek justice for everyone. And it's just funny because I have a running joke with the defense attorneys here that they're contractually obligated to remind me of my oath to seek justice at least once a week, and it's become basically a meme at this point. But it's true. I mean, it is true. That is the job. That is in the oath that we take to the United States Constitution, to the North Carolina Constitution, and to the people of the county that I work in. So even though this didn't happen maybe as quickly as we would have liked to have seen it, it is good that in the end, justice was delivered and this case was dismissed. I mean, I guess my feeling is it's a little bittersweet because on the one hand, it's sweet that the charges were dropped as they should have been, but on the other hand, man, I was really looking forward to milking this case for every last view and every last subscriber I could get out of it. For a small channel like this, small for now, I need every controversy I can get where everyone agrees that something's bad except for the people that are doing it. I can make great videos about that. But alas, my campaign to free Scottie Scheffler was a little too successful, I guess. And guess I'll just have to move on to the next thing. But in all seriousness, like I said, super happy for Scottie and his family. The attorney did a great job representing him. And we're happy that justice was done and the case dismissed and we're able to move on. But that's really all I got for this video. Like I said earlier, I'm a real life DA, I'm a prosecutor, so if you like this kind of content where I get to pull the curtain back and kind of see behind the scenes and how a real life DA might look at a case like this, and also get hopefully some good representation from Gen Z. I'm trying my best out here to put on a good showing for my I mean, I may not look like it, but I promise. I might be on the upper end of Gen Z, but I'm still in it. It's by that much. But yeah, if you like this kind of content, you like the legal breakdowns on the high-profile criminal cases of the day, seeing what's really going on in them, then I just love it if you like the video. First of all, let me know that you like this stuff, and then subscribe to come back for more, because yeah, I'm gonna have a lot more good stuff coming. Oh, and last but not least, definitely let me know down below what you think about this dismissal. If there's anything else that we didn't talk about in the last video or this video, just I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts. I'll be down there talking with y'all like always. But that is all I've got for today. I will see you all on the next one.